Hey guys, we got our Packer Wings videos for ESPN. Let's get it started. Number 32 at the New York Giants. They're 2-11 now. Get them 32 from last week. Hey, congrats, you lost. You helped your tank ball. I believe they had the first overall pick. It's the 10 and the Raiders. I don't know. Sure who does. Either way, they're both real bad, and they could both really use the number one overall pick. Yeah, they almost helped ruin their tank. They almost forced overtime Saints, but they had last late field goal blocked by Brian Bresee, I believe it was. Yeah, congrats. That's what you're looking for, Giants. They're 31 at the Tennessee Titans, 3-10 now. I moved them down a couple spots from 29 last week. I pretty much just swapped them with the team they lost to, the Jags, who they lost to 10-6. I pretty much just feel like near them. Titans, I feel like are a little better than the Giants, but the Jags one I felt like they deserved to move up. So I swap spots between the two. Either way, Titans say you lost. You got that going for you over the Jags now. So yeah, number 30 at the loss in Vegas. The Raiders. They're 2-11 now. Kept them at 30 from last week. Yeah, they lost with 2 scores to the Bucks, but the bottom like 4 teams are all really close to who's worse between them. Just like they're all not that good, but it's just like who do you think's worse? So it's kind of close. And now they don't make me. They don't count. Probably only miss one game. He might not miss any. We'll see. Either way, hey, you lost, so good for you. Number 29, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're 3-10 now. Moved them up 2 spots from 31 last week. Like I said before, I literally just swapped their spots with the Titans. Titans last week 29, now 31. Jags are now 29. They were 31 last week. Say, congrats, you won. Your offense did pretty much nothing all game till late, and then thankfully your defense out over had a good game and kept you in it all game and forced Titans only 6 points. It's like it's a big defensive game. I'm surprised for the Jags, they have a bad defense. Titans have a decent defense, but not game I expect the Jags well teams to be in this year. Shows you Titans offense just that bad. Yeah. Number 28, get the New England Patriots. They're 3-10 still. Get them at 28 from last week. They didn't play this week. They're one of the 6 teams, I believe, that were on bye week this week. So, hey, you didn't lose. Some kind of hurts you. It's like the bottom league's really close between who's going to get the number 1 overall pick, which is a lot of 2-win and 3-win teams right now. So it's just like, who's not the one anymore games the rest of the year? And so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I can't really say much else against the Patriots than they can play. Number 27, get the New York Jets. They're 3-10 now. Kept them at 27 from last week. They cut the close. They lost in overtime to the Dolphins, 32-26. Yep. So yeah, kept it close against a decent Dolphins team, but still lost. You now will make the playoffs for the 14th straight year this year because they've already been eliminated. So congrats, Jets. We'll see what they do at quarterback next year. It'll be Rodgers. Like even if Rodgers doesn't want to come back to New York, I wouldn't want him back. Not another year older. It's like draft a young guy and save cap space. Try to make this team better. And make good to go head coach, too. That would help. But yeah. Number 26, you got the Cleveland Browns. They're 3-10 now. I moved them down 1 spot from 25 last week. They lost 27-14 to the Steelers. Maybe they just beat a few weeks ago. Yeah, they lost, but wasn't too big of a blowout against a good Steelers team this year. Helps your tank well. Hopefully you get a higher pick because you have your first round pick this year. This first round pick this year wasn't part of the Watson trade, so you finally have a first round pick. Seems like they haven't had one in a while now. But yeah, either way, you lost. Yeah, like literally on the bottom side, the only team that won was the Jags. That's because they played another team in the bottom slide. So one of them had to win. So it's just like, who's going to lose the Tank Bowl? And it was the Jags. So yeah, let's go to the next slide. Top 25. Top 25, get the New Orleans Saints. They're 5-8 now. Moved them down one spot from 24 last week. Yes, they won, but it was against a bad Giants team. So they only won by 3. They lose in Carr for most likely the rest of the season. So that's a big loss. Just because he's your starting QB. Rather looked all right earlier so he would play, but I don't think he's going to do any better. You're pretty much eliminated from playoffs at this point. So yeah, tough. You gotta win though. So good on you, guys. Number 24, I got the Carolina Panthers. Big mover of late, even though they still only have 3 wins. They're 3-10 now, with up a couple spots to 26. Yes, they lost again, but they barely lost to the Eagles. What's the final score here? Give me 22-16. They almost won it late, but Xavier Legette dropped the wide open touchdown. Right, and then right before the end zone, he would have gotten in. So that sucks. Helps your pick. It's just Bryce Young's looked a lot better. They got him really close to playing spoiler to the Chiefs a few weeks ago, to the Eagles last Sunday. So they play good against good teams. Just they can't win it, which I don't think Panthers mind because they're not making the playoffs. So might as well try to get a higher pick at this point. I just feel like they're doing good enough to move them up. I feel like they're better at this point than all these bottom teams of the league, even if they have around the same amount of wins or one more. So yeah. Number 23, you got the Dallas Cowboys. They're 5-8 now. Kept them at 23 from last week. They lost to the Bengals on Monday night, 27-20. Weird ending, like the Bengals were about to punt it back to them late, and then the Cowboys blocked the punt, but then one of their guys touched it, and then the Bengals recovered it, so they got the ball back with first down, and then they drove. I don't know. They went down the field and scored. It was a 40-yard touchdown, so they didn't take that long. Jamar Chase. Man, just got embarrassing way to lose. Now you're losing your starting linebackers, Samarian Overshown, for release for sure this year. Sounds like maybe even some of next year, if not all of it, according to Jerry Jones, Samarian Overshown, which sucks for him. He missed all his rookie year last year due to a torn ACL. So he tore his ACL, his MCL, and PCL, which is the first time I've heard somebody doing all 3 in once. Like I've heard you guys doing 2, well, not all 3 of them. So that sucks. But yeah. Number 22, I got Atlanta Falcons. They're 6-7 now. We're doing down a couple of spots from 20 last week. It was technically a blowout to the Vikings, but if going into the fourth quarter, it was a tie game. It's just in the Vikings scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and your defense could not stop the big play. Like the Vikings had a 52-yard touchdown. They had a 49-yard touchdown, I think. Like they had 2 45-plus yard touchdowns. Like that's not a recipe to win. And then one of that Justin Jefferson long touchdown. If you want to see a guy get just completely lose his guy, watch the Alfred that play because he had no idea where Jefferson was. Just like you can't have it. Yeah. So yeah, sucks that you lost, but Kirk is looking terrible. He just is. So maybe you go to Penix soon, but we'll see. Number 21, I got the Indianapolis Colts. They're 6-7. With them up one spot from 22 last week. They are another team that had a bye week this week, so they didn't play. So another week to get healthy. I just felt like the Falcons did bad. The Falcons did bad enough to move them down super far just because it was close late, but did bad enough to move them down behind the Colts, and that meant moving the Colts up one spot. So yeah, the Colts not losing them and getting them another week to get healthy. That's like, depends on how you look at it. Like for some injured teams like that, it can be great to have a late bye, but then there's some teams that might like an early bye. So yeah. Number 20, got the Chicago Bears. They're 4-9 now. I moved to down close fast from 18 last week. They got blown out by the Niners, 38-13. They had 4 yards in the first half. 4. Niners at 300 something. Just I get having a bad defensive first half, but 4 yards, that's just terrible. If even if you have a good second half, you can't expect to win any game like that. Obviously, they didn't. Now losing record. Thomas Brown did not look good. Their defense looked terrible. Their first game without Eberflus. They let Isaac Garendo look good before he went down with injury. So yeah, number 19, I have the Miami Dolphins. They're 6-7 now. I moved them up a couple spots from 21 last week. Like I said earlier, the Jets won. They won in overtime, 32-26. So good on the end to win, but he barely won. Really, the reason the move went up was teams that were ahead of him before doing bad enough to move down. Because there's the Bears deserve to move down. The Falcons deserve to move down. There's a couple teams deserve to move down behind them. It's not really yeah, you won, but you barely beat a terrible Jets team. You had to go to overtime to beat them. So yeah. Number 18, I got the Arizona Cardinals. They're 6-7 now. I moved them down a couple spots from 16 last week. They now have been season swept by the Seahawks. They lost 30-18 last time. Did they lose by 12 both times, or was it 10 the first time? Either way, they lost both times to the Seahawks, so that really hurts your chances of winning the division now because now the Seahawks have the matchup, the head-to-head. So, yeah, that's why a lot of people for a while think Falcons win their division because they sweat the Bucks. But now it's not looking like that. So, yeah, sucks for the Cardinals. But, yeah. Number 17, got the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 5-8 now. Them up a couple spots from 19 last week. They finally won. They beat the Cowboys 27-20. So good, their defense for not failing them. They almost did, but they didn't. So, hey, yeah, you won, but a little too late. Jamar Chase had another great game. Burrow had a good game. Chase Brown had a good game. Just their defense is so bad that they obviously can only do so much. It sucks to be wasting a prime year of Burrow, Chase, and Higgins. Higgins might leave this offseason, but he's still good, even if he did not have a good game at all. But yeah. Number 16, you got the Tampa Bay Bucks. They're 7-6 now. I moved them up one spot from 17 last week. They won 28-13 to the Raiders. So good enough getting a win. Really gave yourselves a great chance to win the division now because you're ahead of the Falcons by half of a game, I guess, since the Falcons have the head-to-head matchup. Panthers are out of it. Well, I guess technically Panthers aren't, I don't think. Had the Panthers played the Bucks both times yet? But yeah, because Bucks lose out, Panthers win out, and the Falcons and Saints just do terrible this year. Panthers still, I think, might be able to still win it. I don't know how their head-to-heads have gone off the top of my head because even Panthers win out and Bucks lose out, they best be both 7-10. Well, I hope never those 7-10 team makes the playoffs. We've seen a couple 7-9 ones. We don't need a 7-10 one. But yeah, again, the Bucks are going to win. Their offense looked a lot better with Evans back these past few weeks. So that's it for this slide. Let's go to the top 15. Number 15, I got the Houston Texans. They're 8-5 now. We know they're still 8-5 to say. Moving that a couple spots from 13 last week. They didn't play this week. They had a bye week. So yeah, it's just same thing that happened to a couple other teams. The other teams behind them before did good enough to move up in front of them, and since they didn't play, they didn't have a game to help fight that. So yeah, that's just kind of what happened. Number 14, you got the Seattle Seahawks. They're 8-5 now. They moved them up one spot from 15 last week. They got the big season sweep over the Cardinals. They gave them a really good chance, depending on Niners the rest of the year, to help get them to win in their division. So getting them there. Let's see what happens the rest of the year. The Rams are looking good right now too, though. They just had a shootout with the Bills, so we'll see. Number 13, I got the Denver Broncos. They're 8-5 still, moving down a couple spots from 11 last week. They are another team out of the bye week this week, so they didn't play as well. Same thing in Texans. Teams that were behind them before, I thought they could enough to move in front of them. That's just what happens. It's nothing against them. They couldn't do anything. It's not their fault they had a bye week. I just thought teams are good enough to move up in front of them. And that's what happens when you're in a bye week sometimes. So, yeah, number 12, I get the San Francisco 49ers. They're 6-7 now. Kept them at 12 from last week. Yeah, they built the Bears, but it's the Bears. That's not really saying a lot this year. It's the Bears' first game after their new head coach after finally firing Eberflus. Your team looked good, but depending on if Guendo plays tomorrow night, they might be down to their fourth or fifth starting running back. They have no healthy running backs right now. It's with all the injuries. Yeah, still getting a win. Still in the division race with the Seahawks. It's gonna be tough. But yeah, they haven't already said, and they play the Rams tomorrow night. So if they lose that one, their season's whoever loses that one between the Niners and Rams, their season's most likely over. Win the division wise, and I doubt either of those teams are not going to be able to make the wild card just because how the Packers and Vikings having two really good records as top two wild cards, and then even the Commanders having a decent record with 8-5. So it'll be tough for either of them to make the wild card, especially if they lose. It's won't be as bad for the Rams because they still be 7-7, which isn't terrible. But the Niners would be 6-8 if they lost, and that's not good, especially for their expectations. So yeah. Number 11, I get the team they face tomorrow night. I get the LA Rams. They're 7-6 now. Moved them up a few spots from 14 last week. I think they're the biggest mover uppers this week. They only moved up 3 spots, so that's not much. But this late in the year, there isn't that much movement just because you kind of know, barring a major team getting a lot of major injuries, you kind of already know what they have. So you just don't see a lot. But yeah, and the Rams getting a shootout win against the Bills. And yeah, number 10, I get the other LA team. I get the LA Chargers. 3-5 now. Kept them at 10 from last week. They lost. What was the final score against the Chiefs? It's 19-17 to the Chiefs on the last second field goal. Seems like the Chiefs just always win those games late this year. I think they're almost at a record streak of straight one score game wins. They've won 10 plus one score games. Not the past 10 games they played have been 10 one score, but they haven't lost one in at least 10 and everyone's one score. Sucks for Chargers. Now she's clinched their division. And it's really tough being clinched your win the division now. But hey, nobody had as high expectations from going to the year. And first year they're Haba should just get better. So yeah. Number 9, got the Washington Commanders. 3-5 still. Kept them at 9 from last week. They are another team that had a bye week. I believe they're the second last team that had a bye because the Ravens also had a bye. I'm pretty sure none of the top 5 my top 5 teams had a bye week. So yeah, it's now very good on one division with the Eagles getting another win. But hey, maybe you can get the second wild card with the Packers loss. So let's see. Number 8 got the Green Bay Packers. They're 9-4 now. Moved them down one spot from 7 last week. They lost was 34-31 to the Lions on a late field goal after their gutsy 4th down call in the Packers territory by Dan Campbell, and he got it and held that and led them to win it. That sucks there. NFC North's looking really good. They're not. So there's the Packers are 9-4. There's the Vikings who are 11-2, and there's the Lions who are 12-1. And the Vikings, one of their 2 losses, the Lions. Packers, 2 of their losses, the Lions. 1 to the Vikings. So it's just all these teams, top 3 NFC North teams, they have really good records, and 4 of their losses are to each other. Just that's crazy. And then there's the Bears. And Bears used to be started 4-2. They lost 7 straight. They could have been that conversation. Number 7, got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 10-3 now. Went them up one spot from 8 last week. They got their revenge from their losing to the Browns 2 weeks ago by when it beat them 27-14. So get them there. Get big in the division win against them. So yeah, you gain a game on. I mean, you get another game on the Ravens with them being a couple of games behind you. They're 2.5 games behind them because they beat them in their one matchup so far this year. So yeah, number 6, I got their division rival. I got the Baltimore Ravens. 3-5 still. Kept them at 6 from last week. They had a bye, so they didn't play as well. Another week to get healthy for them. That's really it. Nobody. I don't think anybody did good enough to move up in front of them, so I didn't do them. So now let's go to the top 5. If you're wondering why I had that picture in my to write this is just for the Chiefs and a lot of people joke around saying they're using dark magic to get some of these wins. So I figure you do a picture of kind of like some dark magic looking stuff. Kind of thought that looked cool. Number 5, we get the Buffalo Bills. They're 10-3 now. We did not couple spots from 3 last week. They lost to the Rams 44-42. Was that the final score? Yeah, 44-42. Really high scoring game. Like your defense ruined Josh Allen freaking having 6 total touchdowns. Like when you're anybody on your team has 6 total touchdowns, like you should you should be winning that game. Like and you did it. It sucks, but hey, still clinch division. You have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs, so it's not impossible to catch them, but it's looking tougher with them Chiefs not looking like they're going to be losing anytime soon either, though. So, yeah. Number 4, I got the Minnesota Vikings. They're 11-2 now. Put them up on spot from 5 last week. They beat the Falcons by what looks like a blowout score, but by 42-21. But, like, if you get rid of the fourth quarter and there's no other just into 3 quarters, it was a tie game. Obviously, that doesn't happen, but just saying it wasn't like it was a blowout all game like some games are. But good them getting the win. He made Kirk not look so good. Kirk started off this game good, but as the game went on, he just threw some bad picks and he started struggling. So yeah, number 3, got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 12-1 now. Moved them up one spot from 4 last week. They beat the Chargers 19-17. So good on them getting that division win. So the Chiefs are looking good. Like it's to the point. Yeah, they've won a lot of close games, but to the point where it's like, yes, they won a lot of close games, but they haven't lost any one-score games. So it's just like, hey, if they're in a one-score game late, they're most likely winning it, and you see a lot of those in the playoffs. So, number 2, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 11-2 now. I moved them down one spot from 1 last week. Yeah, they won, but they barely beat a right. I'll say by this point, I'll say a right Panthers team, and you almost lost. So yeah, I also felt like the Lions beat a good Packers team, so that's part of it too. But still getting a win. You're go way ahead of the Commanders at this point. Like if the Eagles win this week and the Commanders lose, like the Eagles clinch their division, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, number 1, I got the Detroit Lions. They're 12-1 now. They moved them up one spot from 2 last week. Like it's pretty close between them and the Eagles. Like they're both playing pretty good right now. It's pretty close between who's number 1. Like the week before last week in my Power Rankings, I'm pretty sure the Lions number 1. Just if that helps you, like it's literally switched them again. Again, they're going to win. You knocked out the Packers out of the NFC North Championship contention because now you swept them. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. This is it for this video. Have a good one.